Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Let's see. Oh, okay, okay. So the mic was effed up. Anyways, glad to hear that. So what I was saying before, yo, what's good? What I was saying before is about can retention bring good luck into your life? And this is a this is a topic that you might think it may, but it really comes down to what your resonance is, what you're feeling the most. Because another thing is about retention is that if you go for a good amount of time and you're not really transmitting the energy, your cortisol levels are actually going to go up, and then you're actually going to be attracting. You're not actually, you're always going to be moody and stuff like that if you don't realize. Like it really comes down to how you feel. You have to start feeling better about yourself. You have to feel better about yourself. This is the bottom line. And also, if you listen to subliminal affirmations like on YouTube for 8 hours while you're sleeping, this is pretty much going to affect your subconscious. Your subconscious rules all you guys talk about this, and this, but at the end of the day, it's what does your subconscious believe? Because if your subconscious believes that you are entitled to more money, better things in life, then you're gonna get it if you think you actually deserve it. But if you don't, if you're always talking about how you want more money, but you're always in lack, you're not taking any action. You're always talking about you're always a victim. Then you're going to be having lack. You're going to experience lack. It's about you cannot have prosperity with a mouth full of lack. You have to realize this. You cannot have prosperity with a mouth full of lack. Subliminal affirmations, if you listen to them, 8 hours. I've had this before where I listened to some affirmations while I was sleeping, and it was like all of a sudden I see money in my experience. Like it just pops out of nowhere. All of this is a simulated game based off what you think, what you believe you are. These are some of the things you have to realize. So believe you are what you want, and you're going to get it. This is what will happen. This is what will happen. You have to affirm what you want, believe you deserve it, and then you're going to get what you want. So retention, if you do it right, you're going to attract more luck. Another thing is if you fapped recently, headaches, headaches on retention, maybe. I mean, I haven't really experienced that, so I can't really tell you that yes or no. But maybe, I mean, maybe that is something that you're going through. But I mean, that won't necessarily be true. Um, but one thing is when you're on legit streaks, you have to abstain from explicit material. You guys talk about your own retention, but you're looking at pics here and there. That is not doing you any justice. You have to go on a clean streak, and you have to be transmuting the energy because actually, if you're on retention for a good amount of time, your cortisol levels are actually going to rise if you're not doing it properly. You're going to be more stressed because think about it. You have all this extra energy and you're not doing anything about it. That is going to stress you out. So you have to use it to your advantage. But like I said before, like affirmations, subliminal affirmations is definitely what's going to quote unquote give you more luck in a sense. More luck. If you're looking to get lucky in a sense, then subliminal affirmations are your friend. You might let's for example, you might talk about like bringing an ex, like a crush or something, and you listen to some affirmations. If you have it only works if you do it once in a while. If you're on, if you've done it once in a while, for some reason you might, and the person lives in your city, you might bump into them. These are some of the things that may happen to you, when you're on this journey. So affirmations, things like that, all these things they actually might happen to you. But the bottom line, the point that I'm trying to stress the most is just your quote unquote feelings. You have to feel good about yourself. You cannot be stressed. You have to feel good about yourself. You can't have high cortisol levels and then think that you're going to attract all these good things. Because like I said before, retention may give you higher cortisol levels, and you're actually feeling worse about yourself than you were before. So this is what you have to realize. This is what you have to realize. So, so I'm gonna put a link in the chat if you. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Being productive is super key. Being productive is super key, and you know, be on your purpose, doing things that you say you were going to do, having a schedule of what you said you were going to do, and actually doing the things that you actually said that you were going to do. This is definitely going to help you out a lot. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're just not sitting on the energy and just having time go by, but not really doing anything. The guys have like time go by, they're not doing anything, and then all of a sudden they think they're entitled to like all the good things when they haven't put any work in themselves. This is not how it is. There has to be some sort of, you actually have to be doing things in your life. Yeah, you got to be doing things in your life that are actually beneficial to your well-being. Can't just be sitting on this energy and thinking all of a sudden that you're going to get all these things. So if you want to, maybe even join the live stream, I have a link in the description that I'm going to post that we can, that I can, that I'm going to post. Join the live stream, join the live stream, join the live stream. But yeah, definitely being productive is pretty much key. Being productive is key because if you're not productive, you're going to relapse eventually. If you're sitting on this energy, if you're looking at things that you're not supposed to be looking at, eventually you're going to relapse just because you have too much energy. You have way too much energy. These are some of the things you got to realize. So if you want to get on the live stream, go ahead and click that link in the description. But like I said, affirmations is probably going to be your best friend, especially like subliminal affirmations, because whatever your subconscious believes is what you're going to get. We have all these talks about these guys. Like it's really, it comes down to whatever your subconscious believes. You can call in luck into your life if you didn't realize that. Like you can call luck into your life based off how you're acting and who and what you pretty much do. You can pretty much call luck into your life, but you have to be actually, you actually have to do things that would consider something that you do deserve, if that makes sense. Mhm. All right. So yeah, yeah, like people be talking about like they're gonna be on this journey, but they're here and there. They might not be on PMO, but they might still be looking at things, Instagram, things like that, and saying they're on this journey. In reality, they're actually not even on their journey. They're saying they're on their journey, but they're not really on it. You know what I mean? The bottom line is you got to be productive. Yeah, I've had it before. I've had it before where this happened a brick ago, a while back, but then it was consistent too, which is kind of weird. But I relapsed, and then all of a sudden, like my car starts working. It stops working, and I'm just like, "What is going on?" My tire is like out and stuff. And this happened multiple times too. So this happened multiple times too. So I'm just wondering, like, how is this the case? Because usually, like, all the days that your car works, but for some reason after you relapse, for some reason your car just stops working. The day after, it's like there has to be something up. There has to be something up if that's the case. To be honest, I've had some good luck, honestly. And guys, I keep trying to tell you about like affirmations. If you really, let's say, if you're trying to attract an ex crush, you gotta listen to 8 hours of affirmations on YouTube while you go to sleep. It's gonna go into your seep into your subconscious. People might start treating you differently. All these different things. A lot of things are subtle. You don't realize this. Like a lot of things are subtle. How you treat yourself, what people see on you. Like you can notice that some people may start even being way nicer to you just because you listen to some affirmations, and then your subconscious is giving off these like you're a friendly person or things like that, and now for some reason you're getting lucky. Some of these things happen. A lot of these things happen if you didn't realize. So yeah, you may get lucky. Honestly, if you're relapsing, you're not gonna get like I know a guy who's like he's relapsing consistently, and he doesn't have the things that he wants, but he keeps insisting that it has nothing to do with it. And honestly, if everything is energy and you're releasing your energy consistently via your hand, it's different. Like if you relapse with your hand and you relapse with a partner, it's actually different. But if you're relapsing with just your hand, then it's actually worse off. You're actually going to be worse off if you didn't realize that. But yeah, definitely being productive is another thing about retention. Like you have to be productive. There has to be a schedule. You have to have a schedule of what you're doing and actually stick to the schedule. Like Big Sean said, stick to the plan. Yeah, you definitely go back to your normal state when you retain. Like before we were introduced to PMO, we were all just like normal beings. But then all of a sudden, as you grow up, you just become a lot more reserved in a sense because of all these, because you're just getting away from your true self. And because you're getting away from your true self, things like you're becoming less of your true self and you're not catching any breaks. You're being timid, you're shy, and some of these things are not happening for you. So some of these things you gotta realize. You gotta realize. So you're gonna get better luck if you realize this. You're gonna get better luck if you're listening to subliminal affirmations and you're in a state of you're in a good state. One thing that I realized that if you relapsed but not with your hand, like maybe it's with a partner, you actually might you're giving off this energy. You might give off this energy that you're a bit more confident if you earned it, because a lot of guys don't earn. Like if you actually earn the nut, then you're gonna probably be a little bit more confident just because you earned it. Because a lot of guys, 1 out of 3 men you know haven't really done anything in this past year. So if you're actually doing that and you earned it, like you worked on yourself and you got what you want, that's gonna give you vibes of confidence. It's about really how you feel, your internal state. But the worst thing that you could do is PMO, watching the explicit material and then fapping to the explicit material and then going about your day as if nothing happened. If you do that, then more likely than not, you're just going to be your 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 less than version of yourself, and because of that, you're going to have you're not going to get catch any good breaks. Like I said before, like there was one time where I relapsed. This was a while back, and then my car stops working for some reason. It just stopped working. Like literally all the times that it was working, and all of a sudden the day after my car stops working. And this was not a coincidence because these things happened a couple times too. This happened a couple times, so just keep that in mind the next time you want to relapse. But like I said before, being productive is the key. Being productive is the key. If you're productive, if you're productive, then damn it. If you're productive, then things are going to happen for you. But if you're not, then it's not going to look so good for you. You have to keep this in mind. But anyways, like so definitely, like, I mean, I definitely get more like it really depends. Another thing about women attraction, it does come down to physical appearance. At least if you're trying to get choosing signals, you can be on retention as long as you want. But if you're not looking physically, if you're not physically aesthetic, if you're not physically attractive, then you're probably, more women than not women are going to probably ignore you. So that's why I say physical fitness is a very, important, at least in terms of getting, initial attraction. Like, I mean, I can tell you guys, like, I was just at the grocery store earlier, and I would consider myself getting a lot of, at least getting a lot of woman attraction in a sense. Women trying to, like, I'm standing there, and then there's girls like trying to get really close to me, and then I guess maybe have me try to start a conversation with them, and this usually kind of happens. But like I said, physical fitness definitely, if you're wearing something that makes you look physically aesthetic, then you're probably going to get a lot more choosing signals, and women probably would want you to at least want you to approach them and start a conversation. So that, I mean, that happens. But if you're on retention and you do this, you may or may not, depending depending on how you look, you may get more women attraction and things like that. um so I mean, that usually happens. But I want to talk to you guys, like, how's your retention journey going? What are the things that you guys are finding out about yourself? What are your goals, things like that? These are all the things that I actually want to at least speak to you guys about. But definitely, like, physical attraction does come into play when it comes to woman attraction. Like, if you're physically attractive from an objective perspective, if that for example, like, if you if you're walking down the street and then you see a guy, no diddy, but you see a guy who looks physically put together, then if that's you, from a different perspective, if that's you, if you're that person who looks like that, then you're probably going to get more woman attraction. But if you look like maybe every other guy who isn't as physically attractive, then you may get overlooked in terms of woman attraction. But that necessarily isn't the end all be off. That necessarily isn't the end all be off, because it really at least when it comes to women do have more, take longer to be attracted to a guy. So even if you may not look as physically attractive, at least if you have some sort of charisma or some personality that one might be attracted to, and you can have humor and stuff like that, especially charisma, then it's gonna work out for you. But I mean, the bottom line is to work on yourself, do the things that are best for you, and you're going to definitely get the things that you want. But definitely nothing beats physically working on yourself. Nothing beats that. That is going to get you the front door in terms of getting the woman attraction that at least you're seeking after. Let me see. Let me check this link to see if it works.
The new era of business is here.
Another thing, like I said before, is being productive. Like, you pretty much have to become productive. Productivity is your key as a man. If you're a productive man, if you're productive as a man, then you're going to get more of the things that you want. But if you're lazy, you're wasting time, you're never going to get the things that you actually want, You'll never get the things that you actually want because you're just wasting time. And then if the things that you want actually takes time to get, then if you're lazy and you're not doing the things that you have to do, then you'll never get them. Then you'll never actually get the things that you want. Testing, testing, testing. So women in general may behave if they like what they see on the physical, they're probably gonna they're probably gonna be a little bit more interested in you if they like what they see on the outside, and then that right there is your shot to actually initiate conversation with them and take it further. So after 90 days, you're probably gonna be way more focused. Like it comes down to like let's say if you have a job, well 90 days like you're probably going to just feel a lot more focused, and you're probably going to treat your nut in a sense probably a bit better, meaning like you're going to have I guess you might have some standards and when it comes to it, because if you're relapsing consistently, then you might not have as much standards in terms of who you actually do it with. But if you're on 90 days, you're probably going to have a bit more standards when it comes to women. But the worst thing that you can do on 90 days is be on retention, but still, watch that material. Because then you're not going to have the full benefits. If you really want full benefits, go 90 days. And you're just probably going to be a bit more picky in terms of, the woman that you actually try to choose in your life, just because you've gone on it for so long. So you're feeling pretty good about yourself. You're probably going to get a lot of woman attraction. It's going to be good if you do it for 90 days. If you're able to do that, then go ahead. I mean, I've done it for 90 days easily before, and it's a good milestone to have. 30 days is when you start feeling the real effects. The real effects start maybe happen like on the seventh day. But if you want legit like continued benefits and like you want to be productive, you want to be on top of stuff, going 30 days, 60 days, and then 90 days is pretty much the milestone that you actually want to hit. But yeah, 90 days is definitely something that you should hang your hat on, because it's a pretty good milestone to have. 90 days is definitely something that you should guys should at least aim for, just because you're gonna be probably feeling pretty productive. That is one thing. So kudos to anybody who can, hit that consistently. But one thing is, PMOs. If you're on, if you're watching explicit material consistently in your 90 days, then you're not helping anybody. You're not helping yourself at all. You're not helping yourself at all when you do that. But like I said, physical attraction beats anything. Like guys, when we have guys on the internet who are on retention, they're on 120 days, but they're still not, that physically aesthetic. They might come across as an alien to women. Because another thing that I realized is, if you don't have any actual relations with women, but you're on single retention, you might come across as not relatable. You have to come across as, someone as a fun guy in a sense. But if you haven't interacted with women and you're just on retention for a while, you just might come across as incongruent. Because women just want someone who, in a sense, they can relate to, in a sense, or a laid back, chilled type of guy. But if you're not doing that, and you're just like on retention for a while, then it really there. I mean, there's a difference. There is a difference that happens to you. But just make sure, if you're going to be on something like this, that at least you're not neglecting women this whole time. Because if you are, then you might, like I said, you might come as unrelatable. And because you're coming unrelatable, you're not actually getting the attraction that you want. So, anyways, anybody who actually wants to, I'm going to put this link in the description, or at least in the chat. It's in the chat. That's the link to join. If that's something that you want to do. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Give me a sec, give me a sec. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing. So, consumer retention bring back good luck into your life? In a sense, it can, but one thing is, you're going to be in a higher vibration. That is one thing that it can do. You're going to be in a higher vibration. Because you're in a higher vibration, you're going going to make you, be a little bit more energetic and enthusiastic. But one thing that I did realize about it is that if you're doing it, if you're trying to, be relatable to women in a sense, then a lot of the things that you make, because the thing is, just because you have extra energy, you're probably a little bit more wise. You may not relate to the average woman just because you're like, you have all this, all this quote unquote wisdom in a sense. And a lot of people nowadays are very shallow in a sense, or at least they're not as spiritual as some people. They're not as wise as people. Some, how you might become. So you might find it hard that it might you might find it hard to relate to people in a sense, especially if we're talking about maybe woman attraction. That so that is one thing that happens. That's one thing you do have to keep in mind. That is one thing that you have to keep in mind when you're on retention, things like that. So retention can bring back to you good luck. if you do it properly, if you're not just sitting on it, but you're actually using it for your advantage, it can, bring back to you good luck. You might come across as someone who is a little bit more charismatic when you go on it. But you have to practice your social skills. You can't just be on it, have no not be social and think that, oh, I'm gonna get all this woman attraction just because I'm on semen retention. That's not the case. You can't neglect anything in your life. You have to work on all things in your life at the same time. You have to be social. You have to make it a priority to be social. You have to make it a priority to hit the gym. You have to make it a priority to get your finances up. You have to make it a priority to connect with the Most High. You have to do all these things at the same time. Then and only then are you going to find yourself normal in a sense where you can pretty much have your way without anything. But if you're neglecting one thing in your life, then it's going to haunt you. If you're neglecting one thing in your life, it will haunt you. So you have to, definitely be a bit more disciplined in a sense in terms of what you pay attention to and what you what you actually do in your free time. Another thing is about free time. It's like, guys, if you're wasting time, then you don't realize the power of being productive during your free time. If you're in your free time and you're doing something productive and you're doing consistently, eventually you're going to be happy with the results that you have in life. But if you're wasting time, you're never really doing anything, to benefit you and yourself. It's going to hurt. It may not hurt now. It may not hurt now, but eventually it will hurt you. So you have to be very intentional about what you do in your free time. Very intentional about what you do in your free time. Be super intentional, and it will, benefit you in the long term. I just got back from the gym. I had a good arm day. I went to the grocery store as well too. And I'm telling you, if you guys are talking about, if you're looking for a physical attraction when you're on this, going to normal places like this is probably how you're going to get the most attraction. If you didn't realize that. Mhm. Testing, testing, testing. Oh.